any turnovers. That's not going to get the job done, but I think just a lot of things to learn from. I didn't think we played well. With AB, like, you can still just see our connection, even though we're not with the whole Fever team. Like, we still have that connection. And
all right, here's the deal. Caitlin Clark's latest move isn't just turning heads, it's turning the whole league upside down. What could one rookie possibly do to shake up the entire WNBA? We're about to dive into the Clark-sized waves hitting women's basketball. Clark surprises you just when you think you understand her. Imagine yourself beginning a game and failing to make any of your 8 shots. Even her most critical critics were taken aback by what Clark did next, as any inexperienced person would have buckled under such pressure. Is there going to be a great WNBA in the future? The trajectory of Caitlin Clark's career seems never ending. She goes from being left off the Olympic squad to breaking records. Remember that Cheryl Reeve selected someone else for Team USA instead of her. However, Clark found unwavering motivation in that rejection.
What a spin. Taurasi a finish. And a 20-year veteran, Diana Taurasi, dialing back.
I'm going to do my best. I mean, it's still really hard basketball, like playing at this level. You know, everybody's going to be, you know, competing really hard coming back from the break, obviously with playoffs on the line.
She's genuinely altering the rules, not merely participating in the game. But even the most well-known individuals have bad days. Clark recently had a slow start, missing her first 8 tries. Perhaps some people are thinking, maybe she's not all that. But Clark? She just brushed it off, like if it were nothing. What happened next was the product of pure Clark magic. She played the game with 23 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, like it was a light switch. It's not so much like rebounding back as it's like launching into space. Her eyes appeared to catch the challenge, and she gave a warning. Watch this. Now that we have established the WNBA's statistical soundness, let's talk statistics. Clark averages 17.9 points and 8.3 assists per game. That is simply astounding for someone who is just getting started. Here we're talking about a potential MVP contender rather than just a potential rookie of the year. But this is when things start to get interesting. Remember how coach Cheryl Reeve initially denied down Clark's application to the Olympic team? It appears that she has now altered her mind. Seeing firsthand Clark's influence on the rookie, Reeve couldn't help but view her as a star. Besides winning games, Clark is also winning over the most ardent critics in the league. Her early self-doubt appears to have been a catalyst for her ascent to WNBA superstardom. And now, everybody is racing to catch up. But this goes beyond just getting even with yourself. Clark's rise is causing a revolution in the WNBA. She is not just breaking records, she is also dispelling stereotypes about what a rookie can do. The future of women's basketball is represented by Clark's uniform with each game, assist, and three-pointer. Think about it. How often does a new player change the course of the game when they join, in addition to attracting attention? Clark is changing how people view women's basketball. Now that the league is paying attention, she possesses both talent and stats. Clark needs to alter people's perspectives if she hopes to alter the game. Even her most scathing critic is now cheering her on. What action did you take, Caitlin Clark, to get Cheryl Reeve to retract her statement?
Fever have beaten the Mercury for 3 times in the regular season. Indiana sweeps the season series.
Well, the first thing is I feel like I know if it's going in right off my hand, and I think that just speaks to how much time I put in and how many shots I've taken.
Caitlin Clark unloads!
Remember how eager Cheryl Reeve was to quell the excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark? Everything has gone mad, so get ready for an insane journey. Clark having higher three-point shooting ability than Reeve has changed from being a doubter to an ardent advocate. What then led to the sudden change of viewpoint? Let's now take a brief trip back in time. Reeve initially supported Clark. She actually made it quite obvious that she was annoyed by the rookie's unexpected attention. It appeared as though Clark was stealing the show from the other players in the league. Reeve's perspective did, however, sharply shift following an event. Reeve saw Clark's amazing play on the court, and he could no longer deny what was obvious. She made it very plain. Everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. That's more than just a compliment. It's an absolute endorsement. Clark's physical prowess is just one aspect though. The WNBA as a whole might gain from Reeve's change in perspective. Think about it. What does an endorsement from a challenging coach like Reeve mean for the league as a whole? This is now more than just one person. It has to do with how the WNBA assesses players who are just starting out. Clark is tearing down barriers in addition to smashing records. Her influence is making women's basketball reconsider its possibilities. Identifying Clark's impact on ticket sales wasn't Reeve's final action. She concluded by saying, the league has been building for a watershed moment, and we're here. That is something of enormous magnitude. Reeve makes this argument as if to suggest that Clark is more than just a great player. That is, that she transforms the entire game. That being said, what does Reeve's compliment mean? It's simple. You know you're headed in the right direction when a former WNBA player tells you that you're amazing. Coach Reeve isn't your typical woman. She is regarded as a legend by all. Her claims hold weight, but this is when things start to get interesting. Reeve's choice was affected by more than just Clark. She has also determined what has motivated the WNBA's change. In addition to attracting attention, Clark is changing how people view women's basketball.
Coach said they took 66 shots, we took 50. Like, you know, it's really hard to win games when you give them 16 more opportunities than we had. Like, I had a lot of fun just playing and enjoying the atmosphere, like talking with the people courtside. Like, I was just trying to smile and have fun. Like, it doesn't really matter, like, win or loss.
Even the most ardent critics are unable to dispute that, and it's important to think about the possible cascading effects of this. If Clark manages to win Reeve over, how many more people might she possibly win over? Will there be more coaches and players drawn to women's basketball in this new era? Now that Clark seems to have opened the floodgates, everyone is racing to catch up. Still, we shouldn't go too quickly. Clark is just a rookie in the WNBA, so it's not an easy league. Can she keep making this kind of progress? Will her rivals take the challenge? It's these kinds of things that keep fans, coaches, and players glued to the screen. However, this new era is about more than just the skills of individual players. For a brief moment, picture a world in which 19,000 spectators attend a WNBA regular season game. Not just a number, but a game changer. Is Clark the only one modifying women's basketball regulations? Attracting almost 19,000 fervent viewers, the Target Center was a hub of activity. This was not just a game. This was a show. Where does it all revolve, by the way? You can call me Caitlin Clark, the rookie who is making waves as a basketball player and altering our opinion of the entire WNBA. Think about it, the Minnesota Lynx draw over 7,000 fans to each game on average. Nevertheless, after Clark arrived, that number almost tripled. She seems to have some sort of mystical power that turns every game into a spectacle not to be forgotten.
You know, I would have liked to play a little better tonight. I think all of us would say that if we were all sitting up here, and as a team collectively, we would have liked to play better and just have all the confidence in the world. The basket looks really big, so I know exactly how she felt. Like, she was just in the zone. Like,
Cheryl Reeve, who had never bought into the Clark hype, found the impact to be overwhelming. She said plainly, "Everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. That's more than just a compliment. It's an admission that Clark is changing the game." But this is when things start to get interesting. Not even Clark's Indiana Fever lead the league. They are sitting from 13 to 16. Then, who gives a damn? Why would so many people watch a team that has never won anything? And it's simple. Not just a player, but a phenomenon is Clark. She has the amazing ability to make every game into a breathtaking show. With her amazing abilities, Clark enthralls fans with her ability to make apparently impossible threes or dish out assists that leave onlookers in disbelief. Just as significant are the events that occur off the court. Clark is leaving an impression on the WNBA. The media's increased interest in the league, the lively conversation on social media during games, and the overall excitement among fans are all contributing to its revival. Some have even equated Clark's effect to that of basketball greats like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. These players did more than just play hoops. They turned the NBA into a global superpower. Perhaps Clark is joining the WNBA in a like capacity. There are clues. Clients who are prepared to purchase. There has never been a larger audience. Someone who is just getting started but is already well known. Clark is doing more than simply selling tickets. She's shaping how people view women's basketball. But let's just depress the brakes for a moment. Clark is just a rookie in the WNBA, so it's not an easy league. Can she continue to go at this pace?
Mitchell with 5 seconds left. Cross court Clark. Does Clark see the clock? Handoff Samuelson. Who buries a three?
and sometimes I don't even realize how far away I am. Like, I watch it back on film and I'm like, wow, I should not shoot that shot.
You're going to talk about, you're going to ask me privately, are we going to tank for Caitlin Clark and like that? Like, it's not.
Will the other players follow her lead if she becomes a celebrity? Players, coaches, and spectators alike are always on the edge of their seats when questions like these are raised. There will be plenty of action during the Women's National Basketball Association season, with Clark leading the team and all but the most fervent critics supporting her. Women's basketball could be entering a golden age. Think about the cascading effects. If Clark can draw 19,000 spectators to a regular season game, what does that indicate for the playoffs? In the course of competitions, considering the league as a whole, it's about more than just Clark now. It's all about her, a new beginning for the Women's Basketball League, an occasion where the Women's National Basketball Association is the main event rather than a side story. Every game in this league is thrilling, and every player has the ability to be a star.
The two greatest things I know, the sexier part is probably the logo 3, but the pace and the passing is what makes her exceptional. If you wanted a player or a league that can, sort of transcend some of these spaces. And Clark and some of the other rookies give us that. Obviously, Caitlin, being the headliner.
The most shocking thing, though, is that Clark's accomplishment helps the WNBA and more people than just herself. Overall, it is advantageous to the game of basketball. It's inspiring a new generation of athletes and proving that great basketball is great basketball, regardless of gender.